Hello, algebra students. Mr. Lawrence here, and we're going to do a little factoring review video, and I'm making mistakes here, but that's okay. You guys will forgive me because you know I'm human. I prove it every day. All right, well, the first four problems, actually there's 5 problems on here. We're just going to do a little factoring. The 5th one we're actually going to solve, okay? I think it's down here at the bottom. Yeah, it is. Let me get a little more room so I can do my work. All right, now, I think it would be really smart of you to try to factor on your own and then, pause the video and unpause. I'm going to leave that up to you to do that. Those of you, that care and want to do your best and learn, well, you're going to take my advice. And those of you that don't, well, so be it. All right, so this first type of factoring here, I'm getting ready to do it. If you want to try it, you go ahead and pause, is a GCF problem. I'm going to factor out a 6x to the 4th from both terms. My GCF cannot disappear from the problem. I'll be left with a 2x and a minus 1. And there you go. It's factored completely. I can't do anything else because it doesn't equal anything. Nothing inside will factor. I'm all done. All right, the second one is, if you'd like to pause, go ahead. Is a grouping problem. It's a 4-term polynomial, so I'm going to group it. Remember to grab that sign there, and then I have to put a plus in between. Looks like I have a GCF of 3x, so I'll have a 3x times the quantity of x plus 3y, and then here I'll have a GCF of 5, so I'll pull out a positive 5, and I'll have an x plus 3y left, and look at that, I have another GCF, don't I? I like the way Kristen said that in class on Tuesday, I think it was. She said we have to GCF it one more time. And you notice I'm doing my highlighters. I notice a lot of you stopped doing the highlighters. I'm not sure why. You should keep doing them. The x plus 3 is a common factor. I will factor it out, and I'll be left with a 3x plus a 5. I didn't actually show the division. I hope that didn't screw you up too bad. I just divided both this term and that term by the quantity of x plus 3. All right, number 3. It's a trinomial. And so in this one, again, if you'd like to try it on your own, this is the time. Pause the video. I'm going to list A, B, and C, and I'll have 10, negative 33, and negative 54. I'm going to multiply 10 and 54 and get 540. Now, I don't want to list all the factors of 540. So I'm going to grab a calculator, and I know that I'm going to subtract the factors of 540 to get 33. To write down 1 and 540, it's not even close to 33. I'm going to take the square root of 540. Now I didn't get a pretty number. I got this ugly decimal. The square root of 540 is approximately equal to 23.2. But I do know that I'm going to try numbers around 23. I'm thinking 20 probably goes into 540. So I'll divide 540 by 20, and I got 27. So I've got 20 and 27. Problem is, if I subtract those, I don't get 33. The best I can get is negative 7. So I'm going to go a little bit lower. Let me try, say, 15. Let's do 540 divided by 15. I don't know that it's going to go in, but because 540 ends in a 0, I thought a number that ended in 0 or 5 would be smart ones to choose. And I got 36. So I've got 15 and 36. Now when I subtract those, it looks like I'm going to get a negative 21, right? Yeah, negative 21. So I'm not close enough yet, so I got to go a little bit further. Well, let's see. I don't think 10 and 54 would work, because if I subtracted those, I'm going to get negative 44, right? So my factor has to be between 10 and 15. Well, let's see. I know 9's going to go in, but 9's not between them. 11 won't go in. How about 12? 540 divide by 12. It goes in 45 times. 12 minus 45. Oh, look at that, negative 33. There's my pair. Do you see how I did that? I used kind of an organized guess and check. Instead of listing all the factors of 540, I tried some intelligent guesses, starting with the square root and narrowing my work down. I ended up only having to list, what is going on here? List, oh my goodness. I'm just trying to give myself more room to work. This negative belongs. Oh no, whatever. Okay. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. So let's move on. So now it's time to rewrite my polynomial. Chris, you paying attention to this? I need 10x squared, and then I need a positive 12x and a negative 45x. I think I'm going to go with a positive 12x here, and a negative 45x there, and a minus 54. So now it's just like problem number 2, I'm going to group. Very important, grab that negative, grab it, and then put a plus between the quantities. Factor out a 2x, I believe. And so I'll have 2x times the quantity of 5x plus 6. I'm going to factor out a negative 9. And I'll get a 5x plus a 6. There's the GCF, a quantity of 5x plus 6. If I factor it out, I'm left with a 2x and a negative 9, and there you go. Factored completely. All right, so problem 4. Yikes, I just erased the number. All right, problem 4. It looks like the first problem we did, just a straight GCF. I think my GCF is going to be a 7x squared. So I'm going to divide by 7x squared, divide by 7x squared, 7x squared out front, and then I'll have a 4x squared minus 1. Oh, I'm not done. Inside here, I can factor further. I can do the ABC method, or I can use that easier method I've alluded to, the difference of perfect squares. I'll tell you what, I'll do the ABC method. By the way, I'm ignoring the 7x squared. A is 4. B is, I'm not sure, C is negative 1. B, I don't see any x's. I see x squareds, I don't see x's. B must be 0. So I need factors of 4 that subtract to get 0. How about a 2 minus a 2? So I'm going to have a 7x squared times the quantity of 4x squared plus a 2x minus a 2x minus 1. All right, I'm going to have a 7x squared, and I'm going to group inside that quantity like this, grabbing that negative, very important, and sticking a plus between. Uh-oh, scaring me. Lost my connection there for a second. Put a plus in between. All right, so what I end up with, got a GCF of 2x out of here, right? And out of here, I'm going to GCF a negative 1. All right, so a 2x times a 2x plus 1 minus 1 and times a 2x plus 1. So I'm going to have a 7x squared. Pull this 2x plus 1 quantity out. What's left? A 2x minus a 1. So you see there were 2 types of factorings built into that problem. I had a GCF, and then when I did, I had to use that trinomial method. All right. This one here, number 5. This is an easier one if you use the perfect square trinomial, but I know many of you haven't learned that. That's okay. So I'm going to do A, B, and C. And A is going to be 16, B is going to be negative 24, and C is going to be 9. And so I'm going to multiply 16 times 9, which I think is 256. Just going to verify that. Oh no, 144, silly me. 16 times 16 would be 256. So 144. I need 2 factors of 144. They're going to add to get 24. You know what? Let's try that square root trick. Square root of 144. Oh, that's 12. hey, what's 12 plus 12? It's 24. The only problem is I want a negative 24. So couldn't I just make them both negative? Yeah, that would work. So I'm going to have 16x squared minus 12x minus 12x plus 9. Going to do some grouping. Going to factor out a 4x, so I'll have 4x times the quantity of 4x minus 3. Here, I'm going to factor out a 3, only I notice that the first quantity goes positive, positive. The second quantity goes negative, first quantity goes positive, negative. Second quantity goes negative, positive, so I'm going to factor out a negative 3. And when I do that, I'm going to get 4x minus 3. Now it does equal 0 in this case, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm going to get my highlighters out for this one. I've got a 4x. I've got a 4x minus 3 and a 4x minus 3. And I also have a negative 3. I see a common factor. I'm going to factor it out. Quantity of 4x minus 3. What's left? A 4x and a minus 3. Now, this problem will only have one solution. I'm going to write 4x minus 3 equal to 0. Normally we'd write 2 or possibly 3, but since the quantities are the same, I only have to write 1. I'm going to solve for x. Divide by 4, and so x is going to equal 3/4. If x is 3/4, both the quantities turn to 0. My solution is 3/4. Oops, I should have made a little bracket there. Sorry about that. Got a little ahead of myself. All right, now, here's your video quiz. There's 3 problems. You have to factor each one and then solve, okay? That's it for the video. I expect to see them completed tomorrow. Mr. Laurence signing off. Have a good night, everybody.